How do I sound with it when I hit the ground? 100-mile finish. My moment now ain't no mouse in us. I'm on the prowl and my style fitted. My time, give me high fives. Get a picture of the wise guy. What's a wave to a high tide? Never stop when you my size. Man, it's my, I said it's my moment. I said it's my moment. I came here to own it. Man, it's my moment. Man, it's my, I said it's my moment.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the bloody Gauntlet. It's back, and we have the challenges day to day, the preemptive to the big Gauntlet final tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we got some good teams lined up already. They're waiting to find out that last team that's going to join them to make that Gauntlet run. You know, it's always been interesting watching the Gauntlet. I mean, you're quite, came up with this yourself, this whole idea, so you're keen to see how it actually works from this side.
I can't remember when it was. It must have been 2018, 2019 types of times that the Gauntlet was created. It's always been a very big community affair, so I'm really excited that RLO took over the Gauntlet. They've run now, I think this is the third season of RLO running the Gauntlet, doing it sporadically, and the first time that it is a major tournament backed by Psyonix, of course, backed by Rocket League Esports, so we have to give major credit to them. But the whole point of the Gauntlet has always been to give as much practice as possible to the teams in OC, to get them on that next level, and that's more important now than ever with such a long off-season waiting for the next season of RLCS, that teams get that time to practice.
And it's so good seeing all these new teams come up. You know, we got to see the JBL, we got to see all these teams that are coming up, players to really start to nitpick, start to look out for, that maybe they can make that run the next season. And then a massive tournament like this, 30k on the line over the course of 5 or so weeks. So going to be insane to see, as I said, those players that are looking to make a name for themselves, see if they can, put their name amongst the big dogs.
The best thing about the Gauntlet as well is that when it comes to it, you get to that high stakes, you earn yourself a really high spot tomorrow when it comes to that actual Gauntlet final stage. One win, you get that prize money. You lost, you fall down the Gauntlet, but you'll be back next week to try and make a very long run. So if you're playing really well on one day, you can win it all. But there's a long journey, especially for these players in the challenges. Now there is to go a little bit further into that, there is a format explanation video. You should have already seen it over on the Twitter channel for Rocket League Oceania, or the X channel. But if you haven't, we're going to show it to you right now to show you exactly what this format's all about.
Hey everyone, Ben here on behalf of the RLO team. What a crazy year it's been. We started out with the Anzac Day Invitational earlier in April. That was an awesome tournament, and we just wrapped up the JBL Quantum Grand Slam live at PAX Australia. Congratulations to Power for taking out the top spot. Awesome stuff from them. Now we're turning our focus to the final event of the year, the Gauntlet. And we thought we'd run you through some changes to the format for the 5th installment of the series. The Gauntlet has been a fan favourite of the community ever since Yummy Cheese Man created it 4 years ago. And the format has relatively remained the same up until now. Just like previous seasons, this year's Gauntlet features 3 regular season stages: the Open, the Challenges, and obviously at the very top, the Gauntlet. The Open, as the name suggests, is a weekly open tournament every Sunday afternoon for all Oceanic teams to compete in. It follows a familiar format where all the teams start in one of 4 groups that follow a double elimination bracket, and from each group, 2 teams advance to a single elimination playoffs, where they'll also meet the 4 relegated teams from the previous week's challenges. The Challenges is the new intermediate stage replacing what used to be the Glove. This is designed to be more inclusive and more exciting for those bubble teams competing throughout the season. The Challenges run every Saturday afternoon, split into 2 single elimination stages. The first stage is where our 4 teams from the Open join 4 additional pre-qualified teams to play 2 knockout rounds. From there, 2 teams will advance from the first stage to the second stage, where they'll face an additional 2 pre-qualified teams, and they'll play 2 more knockout rounds to find out who has our one team advancing on to the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet, our epicenter of top-tier rocket-powered action, is the same as it always has been. 4 games, back to back to back to back, featuring the top teams in the region, with one team at the very bottom taking them all on, and one team at the very top for everyone to chase down. The team at the top at the end of the day takes max points and max prize money. And did you hear me say points? Yeah. The point system is back for the Gauntlet, where the top 8 teams ranked by points at the end of the season will be qualified for our playoffs. And the playoffs themselves will follow our favorite hybrid bracket. We're super excited to see how teams thrive and compete in the 5th season of the Gauntlet. As always, we look forward to seeing you out on the pitch. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Dovey, you nerd. Yeah, lovely explanation coming out there, but let's be honest, it was a good explanation as well, and a great new format. Most notably, Tins, seeing the challengers move to a single elimination, get more teams in the running, and it gives you more of a chance, I'd say, to come out of open qualifiers and make it all the way to the Gauntlet in one go.
Exactly right. Getting that first 2. You see, there's 2 teams already, Dark Days and Tiki Taka. They just have to win one series in order to make the grand final. And coming first does get you into the Gauntlet, but if you do finish second, you secure yourself that spot into week 2, the Challenger, and also walk away with some points and 300. So just by making it to this Challenger stage, you're getting those points. You're trying to make that finals, get your name in the running. So very, very good tournament. As I said, so many people can sign up. If you haven't signed up for the Open, make sure you do. Everyone can get involved, and you have a chance to play some great names.
Technically, it's possible for anybody to get that first place, but there's a massive, massive advantage to being in the first seed. That means you're guaranteed top 2 because you're in that final stage already, and second, third, etc. all have that advantage of guaranteed minimum placement, and they earned that through the Open qualifiers that we had. So Power came out there as the number 1 seed. They won that tournament. They guaranteed that they would be the number 1 seed and guarantee them top place. Now, when it comes to today and the Challenger, you'll notice here, 6th place actually gets prize money as well. So second place in this qualifier, even if you don't make it through to the Gauntlet, will still get a share of that prize money.
Yeah, it's going to be great. You get those teams. As I said, Dark Days, Tiki Taka, they've done really well. They've secured themselves that guaranteed top 4 some points, and they're going to be the 2 teams, we've seen them before in JBL, things like that. They're going to be the 2 teams that I'm looking forward to take that first place to try and maybe even make their way into that Gauntlet. And that being said, it's a really long day if you make yourself that 5th seed in the Gauntlet. You come first here and you've just got an absolute run to make. You've got to take down all the best teams back to back. A really long day, but this is a slow burning tournament. I feel over the course of 5 weeks, trying to nudge yourself one more placing better, try and get as high as you can.
Well, the 2 of us will be covering the first 2 rounds, and we will obviously, as a stream, RL Oceania will be covering the second stage of today, the last 2 rounds that determine the final Gauntlet team later on after we leave. And all these first rounds, they're all going to be playing at the exact same time. We'll cover Bandits versus Gaming Gamers straight up, which is going to be pretty. I think this is like a close-looking match. Really interesting because you've got Bandits, who Daisu and Fiasco are playing under Fiascool in the Grand Slam. They're joined by Cyrax. I think they're really pushing to try and get to that next level. And Gaming Gamers, Zenula, Sprat, Hawk, a return of all these retired players, and from what I've heard, Zenulus semi-retired in his own. They're a much more casual team, but they have that firepower and class that could send them the entire way.
You don't know what you're going to see here. You're either going to see an absolute Hawk masterclass, Zen returning back to form, or we're just going to see, the absolute grinders in Bandits take down the, as you call it, the retirees, the team that we don't really know what to expect of. We've seen big things in the past, top 4s out of, I think, every player on that team.
Uh-huh.
And now, Daisu, Cyrax, Fiasco, they're trying to make their name. They're trying to be on the grind lately. They're using this off-season to their advantage. Some good placings out of them, so we'll have to see how they go up against the old dogs.
Is Cyrax, I think, the most for me that's on that grind. I see him in ranked all the time. I see him wanting to play ones and always looking to improve a lot. He feels like he is that player that wants to reach the top. and maybe he will, maybe he won't. We never know the factors that actually go into that. It's not just time, but also individual talent, reaction times, how kind of intelligent you are at improving, are all factors that go into that. But he could be exciting. The start of his potential career here.
We've seen that a lot with players. I think in OCE, a certain grind factor alone will just get you to a certain point. We've seen it from players like Prom to Kame, all these players who've just got 100 hours past two. They're up in 1950 in twos, just constantly on the grind in six-mans and everything. And they're the players that start to come up and they're starting to, show us amazing signs against these top-tier players. So, that grind factor from Psyonix here, definitely going to pull through. I think Fiasco definitely has that grind factor as well. And well, you look at Daisu. When does he not have the grind factor, right? When does he not?
I'll be honest, I don't know, because I know he loves the game. That's what I say about Daisu. He's been the longest running player now in OCE that still competes, and he's not competing at the top, which for most people, pretty much everybody who hasn't reached that very top or have fallen down, maybe even from previous levels, have given up the drive. But Daisu obviously loves the game so much that he's just kept at it the entire way. But on terms of that grind, Tins, I love the fact that at least in this region, maybe because of a lack of depth, if you get on that grind and if you work really hard, and if you work hard as a team in particular and spend a little bit more time in the off season working together, you can get leaps and bounds ahead of where you were. You can climb that ladder and that ranking and that skill set really, really quickly. We've seen that repeatedly in recent history in OCE.
Definitely. I always go back to a team like Small Duck. They got their first top 12 with Scout. Scouts made it there, I think, before, but Timmy and CX9, players that haven't really been there for a while, but they were a team that were on the grind. They wanted to scrim. They wanted to put that work in. And I feel like in OCE, as you said right now, there is that little gap between 16 and top 8 that you can easily get through if you just have that grind factor, want to be able to play. So tournaments like this, I love to see, especially with the format of what the Gauntlet presents with us. I think it is going to really benefit those teams that want to put in that grind, that are just thankful for the opportunity to even make the Gauntlet, go up against teams like Gremlins, Pioneers, the Gospel of Lachlan, and Power, like teams that are going to, go over replays when versing those teams and really look to benefit their gameplay and how they can move forward.
That being said, the Gauntlet's also a very high stakes affair, so all the way from where we are right now in the Challenger, all the way till the final tomorrow, every single match is an elimination match. There is not a single match that we go through where if you lose, you get another chance. You have to be clutch, you have to be strong throughout. Now, obviously, that sounds very harsh in some ways as well, as much as it's fun to watch. However, that's balanced by the fact that we get to do this week after week. So 5 weeks in a row of the Gauntlet before we actually get into the finals as well. So you have 5 chances, 5 lives in essence to make the run.
Yeah, and just getting that one win today will already secure you week 2 the Challenger. So you will make sure that you're coming back for another attempt. First gets you through the Gauntlet. Losing that first matchup for today, that will send you back in the Opens, and yet again, top 4 in the Opens, they'll find themselves back in the Challenger. So there's this constant, you are able to move up, you're able to maintain your spot just by, what I would say, doing the average of what these teams are looking to do. Get that first win, and you can already make sure that you're there for next week.
I do just want to say as well that the reason that we have a delayed tech pause down here is because of Hawk, of course. He probably hasn't launched the game in 6 months. Anymore. He hasn't launched the game in 6 months, and as he launched the game to start this tournament, he has a patch, and his patch is still finishing up. So we've probably got about a minute away before Hawk's patch finishes.
I guarantee you the whole team just started it up and they all had 4 gigabyte updates that they were doing at 12 o'clock today, trying to hurry him up, being like, I haven't loaded this game in that long. Yeah, we always got to wait for someone.
It's just like the least surprising.
How many hours past 2? How many hours past 2 you think Hawk has right now?
Ooh, I'll guess 0.
0?
0. I think that is like the safest guess because it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, but you know, I think there's a much higher chance that he's 0 than trying to get a specific number there.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they did have to play, so they played last week to make it here, obviously. So we know the Hawks played at least, I think, 4 or 5 series as a team. So we'll have to. I think they ended up losing 2.5 hours. Yeah. So I think
plus
they
an
ended
extra
up going
half hour
through,
of menu time.
Exactly right. Maybe some free play in there if Hawks lucky. You know, we need to see those mechanics we used to see back in 2018. So we'll see if some of those come out. But yeah, I think they did make it through the lower bracket, if I'm not mistaken, in order to get here. So, you know, maybe need some time to warm up. We're finally ready to get into the game, though.
I genuinely hope he hasn't played too much, because there's always that factor when you first come back for the first hour or so, you feel like a gaming god, and then all of a sudden you realize how much you've lost. So hopefully you can tap into that one. We'll see, as we do have the gaming gamers up against the bandits. Elimination match. Winner goes through and guarantees themselves back in the challenges next week.
We'll have to see just how they start us off. You know, already a good attempt from Sprat, but not able to make good on that attempt. Cyrax, there we go. The player we were talking about. The grind factor coming through for the first goal.
Early attempt. Full run of the pitch with Sprat getting chased down by Fiasco. And that's what I like to see the most. The fact that they communicated well together as a team there.
I'm definitely going to think we're going to see a few of those demos coming out from Fiasco. Definitely a player that likes to get nitty-gritty. Possibly from Daisu as well, or we might be seeing some mechanics come out trying to get past Sprat. Won't be able to. Just waiting for these gaming gamers. I'm going to see when they're going to warm up, or are they just going to be, you know, stuck by the pure attempts here from the side of Bandits.
And Fiasco, as you say, might be the least known individual player on this pitch, as Hawk scores one. I was going to say, Fiasco's had some really good performances in the Grand Slam. Of course, Hawk has had some good performances in RLCS, DreamHack, you name it.
None in the most recent, 2020. Nothing to that. I had a few top 4s along playing with Sprat. So we definitely know that if someone's going to be able to make Hawk's playstyle work, it possibly could be Sprat. Fiasco, definitely one of those players, yet again, just that grind factor. Has been in the 6-man, has been seeing them, move up ranks here and there, kind of stuck between that awkward stage at the moment. So hopefully seeing that maybe this could be the tournament, get more of a name for yourself.
I want a call from you early on in this series, in this tournament. Fiasco and Cyrax. Whether it's together as a team, how long before they reach the top? If they reach the top, like a top 4, for example.
Top 4. All right. Look, I'll give him last split of next RLCS, or however the format's going to work. Maybe like one of the last tournaments that I reckon they can push to maybe a top 8. I don't quite know if anyone's really able to break into that top 4 just as of yet.
You're not back in the boys.
I'm not back in the bubble scene. I know I'm always around them, but I just don't think they have what it takes. The top 4 is kind of too far ahead right now in OCE.
Well, I feel like we know that Sprat and Hawk are not doing it at the end of next season. I would back them maybe to get an early performance in though, no pressure on them. Still got some of those mechanics because they didn't retire too long ago. And look at that, Hawk's got another. He's got 2, he hasn't stopped.
Just shot from the corner there. Zen misses the ball, gets a nice tap out, and then goes for the demo on Cyrax. Doesn't matter. Sometimes you just got to put in the hole. Sometimes you try and overcomplicate this. Hawk can do so much with the ball. Sometimes it's just a bang from the corner.
I genuinely think that's one of the most notable things of players that used to be mechanical and come back is when you come back, you don't trust in your mechanics as much. So you go for the simpler play, and in this case, it's been perfectly viable. Zen has missed. They may even give a chance to Daisu as he goes the other end. Hawk gets a good touch. Great read from the corner.
That's Zen to follow it up here, trying to get some going. Gets a good touch onto the backboard. Sprat up nice and fast. Flip reset. The demo's coming out. Everyone's on it. No! Somehow the ball just keeps out.
Hawk didn't trust Sprat. Understandable. Well, Sprat after all, and wasn't able to find that double tap. Hawk probably, if he didn't go for that ball, if he didn't back up and double commit, he could have followed up as well. Surely that's a goal. Sprat will finish it, and Gaming Gamers are now 2 in the lead.
Zen showing some good signs here nice and early, but as long as that, Zen is just being a pest on the other team. Just goal for demo. As soon as they get one touch on the ball, Zen is full steam ahead for the last defender. It's worked for a few good opportunities. Now it's just if Hawk and Sprat can put enough away to close out the game.
How are Bandits going to take this comeback? And Bandits as an organisation have always looked to pick up teams that have promise, that may be able to get to that next level, that are willing to stick together as well as being a major factor of that organisation. Actually, the old team, I don't know if they're still together, the old Bandits roster, but they're no longer under Bandits at this point in time. And it's not starting off well for the Bandits either, as Sprat gets on the board for his second.
That's what I was worried about for Bandits, is you just start to let gaming gamers run amok on your side of the field. You know, they have the names, they might come with a little bit of scariness even to a team like Bandits. I thought they would really come in and kind of welcome the challenge and look to take it, you know, full steam ahead towards them. Hasn't quite worked so far, maybe needing a little bit of time to warm up. That's a good beat out by Fiasco. Just going to be a big clear downfield from Zen.
Very surprising to me that you see gaming gamers get off to such a strong start. Expected they might need a little bit of time to groove into it, but they're well oiled, and in fact Hawk and Sprat have been very impactful. Daisu only getting a dunk on the board and brings that goal differential back to 2. There is still with a good chance here.
You talk about those mechanics, you talk about coming through, you know, Zen not able to quite keep the ball close there on the backboard. Little things like that might start to slip for a team like Gaming Gamers, and you've got to capitalize on it. Daisu doing well there. If they can get a quick one to go here, they are still in this game for now. Psyonix with a good fake in the corner, trying to look to play it past as many as possible. Fiasco trying, good clear from Sprat. That'll delay them just for now.
The thing I've been most happy with in terms of Gaming Gamers has just been their consistency. They've actually, you know, gone for some more difficult touches, more difficult reads off their own defensive line, and they've hit every single one. And that's what you'd expect. Maybe would get lost, but Daisu's fine top corner. He's the one pushing hard now for Bandits, and they're back with one.
Sometimes you just need that player to give you a spark, and Daisu has been that player. 46 seconds, 1 goal down. Can they bring it back? Can they force us into an OT? We'll have to find out. Kickoff is a stalemate. Hawk with the win and with the boost advantage. It's not what you want to be if you were Daisu in the center. No, Zen opting to play it aside here. Fiasco having to make the save.
40 seconds now for Bandits to try and get on the board and tie it up. Take us to overtime. Sprat, not the best touch coming out from him, and Zenulus has to come in through the save. It's left them all on very low boost as the clear goes across to Fiasco.
Last opportunity here, you've got to make something happen. It's good center. Hawk with a good touch. That's going to delay them. They have to go quick now. Big bang out there from Daisu to try and get it on their side of the field. Hawk playing it well, trying to keep it close. That's a demo. It's crossed the net. Zen gets this clear.
Some clutch touches coming out so far from Gaming Gamers. Have to hold on for a couple more seconds. Hawk has the boost, and he's got the ball, and he's got the goal. A hat-trick for Hawk to seal the deal.
Hawk is back, and he's back with a vengeance. 3 goals in this game. Gets one for the go. Everyone on Bandits had to push up, had to start playing aggressive. Gaming Gamers, players that we haven't seen in a while, and it looks like they're back, Yummy.
Best of 5. That first game is going to be crucial, especially for a team that may have needed a little bit of time to oil in. 3 for Hawk, 2 for Sprat. And if you told me that Zenulus, the player who has most recently been in form, would be one kind of chilling a lot more, I'd have been surprised, but he's taken more of a backseat role and he's enabled Sprat and Hawk to play a much more free-flowing game.
I think that's the key here, is you want Hawk to be able to do whatever he wants on the field. Zen, time and time again, going for those demos, trying to disrupt, make Sprat and Hawk's job a lot easier. Together, they're working well. And I did talk to Sprat earlier. He said a 3-0 today, so there is a bit of trash talk going on. Promised me a 3-0, so we'll have to see if they can hold through to that. They're definitely holding strong game 1.
I'm pretty, pretty disappointed because I talked about Fiasco. He had a really good Grand Slam in the group stages. He had a couple of real MVP performances. Was very quiet in this first game. Didn't get involved. We saw that demo. Although that wasn't a demo, it was a bump chase play that set them up for their first goal, and then after that he wasn't so in their face, and that's when I feel like Fiasco is the best. When he's up in that forward half, creating chaos, getting up to the ball quickly, looking for some bumps and demos. So maybe if he recognizes that, we'll see him step up in the second game.
We'll have to find out second game. You know, there's always that thing in the back of your mind saying, oh, you know, I know these players' name. You know, they've been competing at the top for so long. Players like Daesu have been around that for a long time, so you don't think that's really going to play on the mental for Daesu. Psyonix always seems to welcome the challenge, always wants to, you know, verse the highest players and ones and things like that, but a miss touch, not even a touch, a miss like that, Zen's going to punish you every time.
Oh, I shouldn't have talked about don't watch, that's painful. Fiasco in the dumps, and Zenulus, I'll tell you what, he backed Fiasco to miss that. He looked awkward the entire time, so big props to Zen.
Trying to play too fast here. Fiasco, we'll see if they can pick up the pace here. Psyonix might just be looking for the answer back. Double just off.
You know, I will be excited to see if maybe if Fiasco's having a bad day, whether Cyrax has the dog in him, whether he's got that ability to sort of have that fiber-esque performance. You know how that is when somebody on your team or when the team's not gelling. You sometimes just want to have that player who can take over. I think Cyrax would like to be that.
Definitely, I think Cyrax would welcome the opportunity to show what he's made of on the stream in the first streamed game of the Gauntlet. And then Daesu, I always just feel like Daesu is going to be consistent. Is going to be a player that can help, you know, settle the team and kind of be what his team ever needs him at that point in time. Was the main goal scorer for the team last game. We'll see if he can get on the board yet again. Right now, we're just at a stalemate. It seems like gamers, they're happy to just maintain possession here until they finally get a breakout shot. Sprat with a double. Good save there by Daesu.
You know, there was a time where Daesu was this scary mechanical player. He's actually got one to the board, as we say. Bottom corner. Didn't require scary mechanics. And that's been the big change up, I feel like, for Daesu, is that he's more thinking as a team player these days. In this case, he went forward for the pass from his teammate, and it ended up being Gaming Caners that gave it to him.
Well, you know that they're going to want to isolate Hawk. They're going to want to put bandits in these 1v1 solo plays. So we've seen a few pass backs already from Sprat. So maybe something Daesu's picked up on, maybe something he's looking out for. Just right place, right time. We might have to find out. Fiasco now on a one-on-one with Sprat. Forces the 50. Hawk now to try and clear it. That's really awkward pass Daesu there. Finding themselves kind of trapped in these corners.
Will be Fiasco to try and follow up, but feels like a little missed opportunity so far for Bandits, and that's what little misses and little misreads can do. It just stops that momentum, it stops the control that you can have, and that was especially important because Bandits were trying to keep the ball pinned in the corner, steal the boost away. The moment you miss one read on that, it gives your opponents the chance to pick up boost and collect their thoughts.
Hawk now sees Sprat downfield. That's a good 50. And Daesu now might be able to capitalize on it. Not enough boost, and it's just going to go right there. It's a good opportunity made from an awkward situation here. Now Hawk to try and get the clear downfield.
Hard to read the power.
Wait a minute.
That's forward, and hard to read that save, and Sprat has managed to do it, recovers up the back, and he's kept the game alive and tied up.
I don't know how Sprat has managed to do that, but you just walk away with it. That's fine. Now be looking to get on the other end of it. Couldn't quite. Not quite the boost to get for.
What was this Sprat like 2 years ago? He's starting to really step up his performance. I haven't really seen any major mistakes, and that was always Sprat's biggest problem in the past is more just like a lack of consistency more than anything else. He's shown up today.
It's the non-care factor. They're just, you know, they're playing with mates. They're playing for fun. You know, maybe when it gets down to making the Gauntlet, we might start to see that competitive Sprat come out and see a few more mistakes. But these players just feel like they're playing so freely, and, you know, they have the capabilities to do whatever they want to do. So they're just having fun with it. Sprat definitely stepping up here. Hawk, good opportunities. That's a good pass midfield. Zen to try and put it away from the double. It's 50 in front of net. Hawk couldn't quite get there. Sprat now to take it over. Shot on target. Daesu with the clear. This could be a counter-attack.
If you were to write a textbook, that would be the play you'd go for. The 1-2 pass into a double off the backboard. Unfortunately, just slowed down a little bit too much. The first touch off the backboard. Needed a bit more power. Sprat and Zenulus crossed wires, and this gives Daesu a chance on the counter. It just gets pinched away.
That might be a quick counter-attack. Sprat, no, couldn't put it off Cyrax. Sprat gets the goal.
Well, I was looking for Cyrax to maybe put in the work to have that carry effort. Unfortunately, he's carried the wrong way, absolutely blasted that one into the net.
Just like that, in the final minute, Gaming Gamers take that lead back again. Now it's all up to Bandits. We'll see if Daisu can have another performance in the final few minutes, get that clutch factor. Sprat, he's just going to keep them in the corner for now. They've had a few good opportunities on the counter-attack, but so far Gaming Gamers are keeping their third so far back. But when they finally get in that 1v1 there, I haven't got the boost to work with. Fiasco maybe find themselves cheating up again, just managed to clear it aside.
That 3-0 starting to look more likely, but maybe a late fight back here in the last 30 seconds from Bandits. Will be Hawk to keep control and get the demo as well from Cyrax, attempting to come in and defense now for Bandits when they need to be up the other end.
Last opportunity to make something happen in, I don't think has many bits to work with and is now demoed. Zen just trying to get one for the go and does just that off the ceiling touch, crossbar and down.
Not again, the second goal called him out last game for not scoring any. And he's made a brilliant effort here. Top corner, nice little flip. 3-1 and Gaming Gamers are going to go to match point.
They are showing glimpses of the players that they once were, and maybe showing that they still are those players.
I mean, whoa, let's not be too harsh on Zenulus. I mean, he hasn't retired, you know. It's just it's Sprat and Hawk. We expect this from Zen.
Well, you know, Zen's finally showing up. Look, we still saw great things from Zen last game. Now we're seeing just a bit more on the goal side. We saw the mechanics come out. I haven't seen too much mechanics out of Zen, you know? Previous Pulse player was always that highly mechanical player. That's the kind of stuff I'm expecting every game.
Oh, I see. You're basing your entire opinion around Zen off the last game and not like the last year.
If Zen isn't scoring flip reset musties or anything like that, that's a bad game for me. It's only the highlights for me. That's what we want to see.
All right, Zen. So last game you were atrocious according to Tins, and you know you were practically retired. But for those in the know, you know Zenulus might be taking it a bit more casually, but it's not like Hawk and Sprat, who did not play last season of RLCS whatsoever. He's still fully mechanicked up as far as I'm concerned.
Well, as I agree with you now, because we saw that goal at the end there. That's Zen getting it.
Go to game 3. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear this doubter anymore.
All right, come on, let's see who's the best, the grinders or the retires. We'll have to find out.
I'm gonna finish off with saying Zenulus never retired. So none of that. You know who might retire after this one? I was going to say the Bandits organization, maybe all of Bandits. So it's not been a great effort just yet. They'll be looking to get their first game on the board this one.
Yeah, definitely walking away in a sweep is not what you want in any situation, especially with how much work they've put in. This might be a good opportunity. Gets the rebound off Hawk's car and Fiasco gets the goal.
A little nervous there. Fiasco certainly had a lot of a chance, and so did Cyrax, and so did Daisu, and he ended up hitting it straight towards the defender, but fortunately for him, he had the follow-up.
And you take any goal, especially with Fiasco at this point, so good to see. Get that lead, get that early lead. See now how they can play from being in front, or if Gaming Gamers will answer back pretty quickly. Zen, last player back again, has these options upfield. He's just going to go for the sidewall. Read into midfield. Hawk is there. Fiasco gets the save.
I hate Hawk for not scoring that. It was difficult. He had to react really quickly to such a, I was going to say just a great pass, but more than anything else, a surprising pass. And they will convert eventually, but Hawk spoiling the fun by not scoring the previous one.
Such a good attempt. And this seems to be the key for Gaming Gamers. I don't know whether it's on purpose, but they're always putting the ball just high of the crossbar, and it's forcing these awkward saves, these awkward reads here from Bandits. Do I have to jump for it? Can I let it go? And then they're getting these follow-ups, tying up the game nice and early. And Gaming Gamers looking to return to form. We've seen the last two games. Good infield pass.
Their passing has been immaculate. Even when it hasn't worked out, it's been threatening, and that's a crazy pass. Daisu never quite in a position where he can challenge that and cut off the angle first, because he also had to worry about the net. for the shot if that originally came out. And I think Gaming Gamers might be running a long way in this tournament if they keep playing like this.
You need to start covering the midfield or something. You can't let these passes just go by.
He didn't have the chance.
Challenge.
He didn't have the chance because what happens if it's not instead of a pass, it's a shot? If he's covering the pass, then
I'm talking about the other two players. They need to start having, working as a team, trying to, maybe rotate less wide and cover up these passing lanes early with lower boost. Because if they just keep allowing this to happen, there's another good pass over to Hawk. Couldn't make contact there. Just the opportunities that they're getting for these passes are looking dangerous almost every time.
And not commit so hard to the challenges, because in that situation, it ended up being essentially a 2v1 situation. And that's why it was, if you cover the pass, there will be a shot. If you cover the shot, there will be a pass. Because two players had already committed themselves and not had enough effect on the ball.
Another shot there, right on target, but right in Psyonix's way. Able to get the save here. Now trying to turn into a counter-attack, but with a demo, it might free up a little bit more space in the midfield. Fiasco has to make a challenge past that off the backboard. Sprat, no, couldn't get the angle. Tough read to go up for that early. Time after time, they are just getting shots on net.
We really need to see so much more coming out from Bandits. Haven't seen that step-up stage just yet, and considering Gaming Gamers, I feel like they've stepped up at least, especially in this third game. They're passing with their solo plays. You need to see that next gear. What is it going to be? It's going to be a quick save by Fiasco. Xenius had collected that and flicked it early.
Trying to see Cyrax here come up with something in the midfield, but pass after pass like that. That is beautiful.
This is fantastic. Great, just fundamental Rocket League passing. 1, 2, 3, always into difficult positions.
It's just great to see. Their third man is staying so far back, and the first and second player aren't rotating back. They're staying upfield, giving these options. From a team that I expected to come out and just be solo play after solo play, highly mechanical, they're just showing that they know what they need to do. They're trusting each other, and highlights like that are even more beautiful than just the solo play.
I like it. I love just seeing good, solid, textbook, fundamental Rocket League passes that are on the nose, good teamwork. And it's the last thing I expected from this team. I expected to see a lot more solo play, mechanical-based play, especially considering I would assume that they haven't been scrimming too much.
No, definitely not. And it seems like they've been on the grind as well. They've been teaming for a while with how they're connecting well. Hawk just getting the misread in midfield, puts another one away. Hawk is just trying to get as many goals as possible, almost got the hat-trick yet again.
Yeah, it's just emphasis on the mistakes as well that Bandits has made. The first 3 goals, Gaming Gamers played exceptionally, the passing, but Fiasco, another clear miss, and unfortunately for him, that's like the third miss that has just directly led to a goal. He can't be affording to make those kind of simple mistakes.
You can't, especially when you're versing a team that's just punishing him right now. They're still getting opportunity after opportunity. And this is a great first game here for Gaming Gamers. As you said, you can't afford to lose one series. And starting out strong here has just got to give you that good momentum moving forward in the challenges.
30 seconds. It's not really going to be enough time. So Sprat was right. And maybe a little bit surprising that had the consistency, they get another goal. All 3 of them were running forward, just try to get a touch on that ball to be the one to finish it.
Yeah, everyone wanting that goal, everyone trying to steal it. Sprat was going for the demo, trying to secure it. Give him credit there. Hawk, no. Hawk's trying to get the hat-trick. He's doing it any way possible.
Hawk already did get the hat-trick in Game 1, and will be the highest goal scorer of the series. I think he had 1 in the previous game as well, so that would bring him up to 6. Maybe he can get another one now, just to seal the deal, and really put a stamp on the fact that you can play as much RP as you like. If you're a gamer, you're a gamer, and you can come back and score the most goals in a tournament. It will be Sprat instead to score it, and that equalizes all 3 of them on 2 goals for the game.
Yeah, they're showing that if you had it once, you've still got that fundamental aspect of it. The way they came out and played was not what I was thinking as we talked about. They really looked for those infield passes. They used each other upfield, counter-attack after counter-attack, and that was a very well played from Gaming Gamers. I'm actually looking forward to see how they go the rest of the tournament now.
Yeah, they look great. They look like a team that should be into the stage 2 today. I think that they will win the next series as well, the way that they played in this one. And I'll go the other opposite way. This is going to sound harsh, but I'm glad this is single elimination. None of this. Bandits get 3-0'd. They play pretty atrociously, and I have to call out Fiasco in particular for living up to his name. They have to go home now. They have to re-qualify, and it's because of this single elimination, which means hopefully they'll be really working hard this week. They'll have suffered a major defeat. They won't get another chance in this week's episode of the Gauntlet, but they're going to have to work hard, grind hard, and be back next week.
Yeah, and I think it'd be good for them to go back into the open. They can use this game. I think there are a lot of things they can look through in replays and see, okay, we left the midfield wide open. Here's where we got punished. Cheating upfield a bit too much.
5 times in a row.
Completely missed the ball in wide openly sometimes. Shot right at Hawk in net. The few things that you can go through and you can look back. Instead of just playing one game and then waiting next week for the challenges, they'll have a bunch of series they'll get to play next week in opens, and they can, work it out in a competitive situation there. And then hopefully we'll see them back here in the challenges.
Yeah, there were multiple surprises as well in that one. That Gaming Gamers had the passing play. They had such good fundamental team play. But as I called out in the middle of it, they were also really consistent, especially Sprat, in their touches, not making major mistakes. Obviously, everybody makes a mechanical mistake here or there, but I was expecting a team that hadn't played a lot over the last year, especially not a lot of competitive Rocket League last year, to maybe struggle with the consistency. They've got that. They've got the fundamentals, and they've still got the solo plays, especially from Zenulus, so they have a really great recipe for success. So we'll see how they go through the rest of the bracket. And speaking of that, we're going to be going to a short break and go into round 2 of this bracket afterwards.
I get paid and do my dance like a touchdown. Yeah.